We did get our second truck. However, these two trucks are not our first trucks. So I thought I'd show you guys a few pictures of the trucks that we've had on our farm and in the excavation business over the years. So starting with number one is a 1979 Peterbilt 359 we bought secondhand off of a local grain elevator. They had purchased it new, and when we were the second owners, and we put quite a bit of time into that truck, and I spent a lot of time cleaning it up, decorating it out with some chrome and making it look good. Ran it for years. We pulled a hopper bottom with that truck. That was pre-ethanol days, or at least ethanol in our area. So we would haul into Kansas where the better markets were at, and we spent a lot of time driving that truck. It was a 13-speed spring ride, factory non-power steering day cab. It had the Corvette dash and had about 1.5 million miles when we sold the truck. As my excavation business began to grow, it took time away from farming. At that point, we decided to sell the hopper bottom because it was getting pretty old, and I purchased my own trucks for the excavation business. I had 3 main trucks, and then we had military trucks that some of those were allowed to be used on-road, meaning they were titled, and there was a couple that were non-titled for off-road only. The main truck was a 386 Peterbilt 2007 18-speed, converted into a, what's this say, quote, homemade heavy haul. Wasn't a bad truck, but it did have a few gremlins, and we also had a T880 18-speed ISX, and it also had a few gremlins, and the gauges were in bar, if that tells you where it came from. Not a bad truck, but had about 18,000 hours on the engine, and the repair bills were probably more than it was worth, so we sold it as well as the other Peterbilt. And there was the third truck, which was a Kenworth T600 dump 16-foot bed. That was a 1986 Kenworth. It was an A series T600. Not a whole lot of those left running. Now you guys have seen the 800, so let's pop the cab on this new 880. Pop the door here. It's got like a car door style door. These open very smoothly. You can see the seals around the outside edge. There's the VIP, or maybe it's VIT interior option. Car door style sealing edges. You can see how that's different than the other truck. And the lights come down here, as well as there being, I believe, I don't know if it's lights from up there, but you do have a really nice entryway lighting. Up here in the cab, I got something really cool. Got this brand new instrumentation cluster. This was not expected. We expected to have the original gauge cluster, which will be seen here. And expected to have that because this truck was scheduled for the year of what I understand anyway, was scheduled for the year for the older gauge clusters. Well, then there were some issues with the order, and at the last minute they were able to put the truck together. We'll pop that door so we can get the lights back on. But we did get the new style interior lighting, or the new style interior gauge cluster, which was really awesome. Hit the key here. I believe that means you can start it. This is an ultra shift, so there's your gear shift. Pretty damn neat. It does have a release down here, and you can telescope this up or down, and then in and out, just like a car. Whereas the other one has a foot pedal, and the controls here are much different than the other truck. Much more integrated, much more features, as well as the more car style mirrors and the much bigger car style windshield than the other truck. And if we scroll our thumb ruler here, you can see that our instrument cluster does change. This truck has 189 miles on it. We'll hit the center, and you can go through diagnostic checks and all sorts of information. And I believe these trucks have a pre-trip, I think. My understanding, they have like a pre-trip inspection, and it goes through and checks all the information. Do this, and then we can go, yeah, so you can go through and check all your diagnostics. Go back. That is pretty cool. Left, you have your floor lamp. Turn that on one click, give you the red light, or you can go all the way for interior lights, or none of the above. Some sort of engine check. I'm not familiar with this thing yet. Systems check. Oh, okay, that runs through all your pre-trip checks. And you have rear cab lights as well as these strobes for a low boy if wanted. And you have your, what we used to call the Johnson valve here. It's doing its automated pre-trip inspection. Full lockers, 100% lockers on this truck as well. Same gauges as the T880. Updated air conditioning system as well as automatic, as well as integrated PTO. In case we want to pull an end dump, and of course your cup holders are the same. A little bit wider cab, with a much bigger view looking out. So we click this to drive, that would be 4 gears, and there's our startup gear of 3. Remember, this is ultra shift, not mag, so it's still actuating a clutch just electronically. Now when you go to reverse, so you can see your mirrors better, it actually dims the gauge cluster for you. Back to neutral, let me light back up. And here's a picture of the original instrument cluster, which is kind of what I thought we were getting. But we did get the newer, more improved model, which you're seeing here. And I'm actually very thankful that we did get the newer model because it's majorly improved. Going through this truck trying to figure out all the controls and everything here. We got a PTO, and these fold up, and then you have access to it, as well as the air slide fifth. And of course we have our full lockers here and 2 spares, which I would imagine could potentially be used for maybe a box lift. I'm not sure. I don't quite know how to run end dump controls on this, and that was something we were wanting from the factory, but I'm not quite sure how that's all plumbed yet, but I will figure it out. Over here on the left, we do have our window control, or our mirror controls on near our window, and it's a nice, more like a car cut windshield. The way everything comes down, it's more like a car than it is a semi. It's a lot more car-like in here than the old T800. And I think as far as sitting and driving all day, having a lot bigger, better, clearer view is nicer, but it's not one that I'm used to. Definitely everything about it is more towards the automobile sector than the truck sector. So I'm more used to the T800 in familiarity, although I think after a 12-hour day, I think this truck might be a little more comfortable. Kind of interesting here too, I was playing with this, and it kicks the jake brakes on, if you can see right there. I can pull that down. Pretty cool. Most of the options in this T880 are similar or the same as the T800, same engine, powertrain, very similar fuel capacities, as well as placements of the tanks and frame rails, etc. It is a full locker truck, same as the other one. The main differences between it and the T800, this one is equipped with wet kit provisions. The only thing they do not factory supply with is a PTO. It does have the Hendrickson Primax suspension in the rear versus the AG460 Kenworth. That was back and forth between the 2 suspensions, so I just went with one of each. Same axles otherwise. Did get the pin fifth wheel in case I want to pull an end dump for hauling lime or gravel or other things on our farm. And I did buy the pintle hitch rear just in case you wanted to move machinery. I've seen a lot of guys pull like field colors and stuff with these if you ever go get something. It's easier than loading it on a lowboy, and we may not use that, and it could be removed. They actually do trim the frame off if you don't want that option. But I think everything looks good on it. We're getting ready to put it into service here real soon, and you guys will have to stay tuned for that and many more videos. And these are trucks that will work for us for many years to come and suit all of our needs on all levels, was the plan anyway. Lots more to come, so if you like the channel, hit the subscribe button. It helps a lot, and we'll see you in the next video.